Good day and welcome to another episode of your Money Moment. I'm your host, Mauritz Oberholzer, and today we'll discuss one of the hot topics that I always get asked about, and that is investing. There's always a wide variety of feelings about investing and what investing is and how it works, but the main thing I want to discuss today is the way you invest and what the plan is over the long term, because investing should be a long-term exercise. It's not something that is done over a year or two. Investing should be something you do over a 5-year plus time frame. Investing can be a challenging ride for investors and financial advisors alike. Investors want to see performance and they hate losing money, which is a normal human trait, but they also approach investing with a very emotional mindset. I recently attended one of South Africa's biggest fund managers roadshows, where they just show the impact of wanting to chase performance or even just trying to go super safe and the impact that had on your investments. Their example showed the difference between 3 investments. Their fund, which returned roughly 13% per annum over the last 20 years, which translates into 11 million rand if you invested 1 million at the start of the 20 years. The worst performing fund in the same multi-asset class category returned just over 9% over the 20 years, and that translated to roughly 6 million rand after the 20 years of investing. Lastly, the example showed cash or money markets was only worth 3 million after 20 years based on the average return of cash of 5.5% over that 20 years. So what does all of this mean for you? Well, the basic idea is that over the long term you should look at growth assets, giving you higher returns. Staying in cash will have cost you 8 million rand due to the fact that cash is based on interest rates of a country. And even in South Africa with relatively high interest rates, cash still does not provide enough growth to outperform inflation in the long run, which means you will get poorer in buying power over the years. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying cash does not have a place, but you should not make money markets and bank accounts your long-term investing plan, as they tend to erode the buying power of your capital over the long term. So what are growth assets, you may ask? Growth assets are equities, commodities, gold, silver, hedge funds, cryptocurrencies, and properties, just to name a few. There are a whole range of growth assets. The one thing to remember is all growth assets are not created equal. So make sure you do sit with a financial advisor to ensure you select the correct blend of growth assets for your risk tolerance. Lastly, you must remember that growth assets do come with a certain level of volatility, but over the long term they do offer better value than that of cash or money markets. Lastly, a bit off topic, this year's budget speech was on Wednesday, and I think the big thing that will affect most people in South Africa or listeners will be the fact that the tax brackets are not adjusted for the coming tax year starting the 1st of March, which means you might pay a bit more tax or even be pushed into a new tax bracket. So that is something to take notice of. Go and check the new tax brackets. It will affect you in some way or another. There's some other tax rebates that will remain the same, so there's no inflationary adjustment, so that also will have an effect. But do go and work out what your new tax will be and make sure you do adjust your budget accordingly. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope I added value to your investment journey and that you might look at your cash investments in a new light. Make sure to discuss your plans with a financial advisor before making any investments.
When you're navigating through life's big events, like buying a home, starting a family, or approaching retirement, you need sound and impartial financial advice. Mauritz Oberholzer, a financial advisor at Stonehouse Capital, specializes in personal financial planning. Visit mauritzoberholzer.co.za or call 082-774-1996. For practical and easy-to-understand advice and tips, don't miss your Money Moment with Mauritz Oberholzer, Thursday mornings at 10 on eRadio.